Your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM Radio Main News. The headlines. Police are investigating a video circulating on social media showing a group of people in disorderly conduct. Paramount Chief Mpezeni of the Ngoni people urges the church and CSOs to pursue meaningful dialogue with government. And Venezuela bans 6 major airlines after tensions with US escalate. This bulletin is live on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia, and live on our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie Banda. Police in the Copperbelt province say they are investigating a video circulating on social media that appears to show a group of people engaging in disorderly conduct. According to preliminary findings, the incident took place last week on November 20th at about 15 hours at the Wilson Mafia Chakulia Toll Plaza in Kitwe. Copperbelt Commanding Officer Mwala Yui says the individuals seen in the video may have violated public order regulations. The Copperbelt Commanding Officer says a full investigation is now underway, and anyone found to have acted unlawfully will face appropriate action. He further assured the public that updates will be provided once the inquiry is complete. In the meanwhile, the Zambia Police Service is disclaiming that police in Kasama have summoned Anxious Chama or that there was political violence at a radio station in Maria. Police Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilabi said no such summons have been issued and emphasized that there is no radio station by that name in Kasama. Mr. Chilabi added that investigations are underway to trace the individuals behind the false claims. He warned that creating or spreading misinformation is an offense under the Cybercrime Act number 4 of 2025. He says the police service will take stern action against anyone attempting to mislead the public or cause unnecessary alarm.
Claiming that police in Kasama have summoned Archbishop Ignatius Chama and that there was an incident of political violence at a radio station called Radio Maria. We categorically refute these claims. Police in Kasama have not summoned Archbishop Chama, nor are there any investigations involving him. Additionally, there is no radio station named Radio Maria in Kasama. Investigations have been instituted to identify those spreading these false claims. We strongly warn that fabricating or circulating false information is an offense under the Cybercrime Act number 4 of 2025. The Zambia Police Service will take stern action against anyone attempting to mislead the public.
Paramount Chief Mpezeni of the Ngoni people has urged the church and civil society organizations, CSOs, to pursue meaningful dialogue with government regarding the proposed constitutional amendments rather than resorting to street protests. The chief has encouraged the church to engage senior traditional leaders across the country if all avenues of dialogue with government have been exhausted. He has further advised the church and government to agree on a practical and balanced roadmap that addresses concerns on both sides, noting that peaceful engagements was more productive than public demonstrations. Chief Mpezeni has emphasized that delimitation remains an urgent matter, as some constituencies are significantly larger than others. In a show of solidarity, Chief Mpezeni has endorsed President Hakainde Hichilema's leadership, particularly commending the increased Constituency Development Fund (CDF), which he described as a blessing to communities. He notes that the fund has enabled many constituencies to acquire graders, police vehicles, ambulances, and other essential assets. The chief also thanked the president for the free education policy, which has resulted in a notable rise in school enrollment. He further applauded the decentralization agenda, which has expanded the number of beneficiaries under the Social Cash Transfer Program, an initiative he said was helping to alleviate rural poverty. Commenting on the opposition Patriotic Front PF, Chief Mpezeni criticized the internal leadership disputes rocking the party. He urged the PF to resolve its differences, noting that national leadership requires order and unity, not a situation where numerous individuals claim authority at the same time. Chief Mpezeni appealed to citizens to give President Hichilema more time to deliver on his commitments.
Ikankakanya malaiki siweyamba palilo arungu eyamba pala arungu malaiki ipeza kudala leipeza lete obogose ya no tuziwa kuti usogoleri aliyesofuna omatendi kolanga naye zawa chikapo naye lungu chikapo naule chikapo mapulezi echita hangatuvyona manewa chikapo
Motorists in Mazabuka have expressed satisfaction with the ongoing construction of township roads in Kaonga Township. The works being carried out by Asphalt Road Zambia ARZ, an indigenous Zambian company, involve the tarring of approximately 13 kilometers of township roads. In random interviews, motorists said the project has already started making a positive difference, noting that once completed, the improved road network will ease movement for residents. One of the motorists, Howard Mujindu, said he is impressed with the progress, adding that the roads were previously impassable. And Alvin Hamusunse appealed to the contractor to speed up works on the Chachacha stretch, warning that delays could continue to inconvenience residents and motorists.
That's it. Most of this gravel that you are seeing will be washed away. So we wish them the best. We are happy they are here. Government is doing things, and we love the renewal that is happening, but let the renewal be expedited. I think for now, this is what I can say.
And former Mazabuka Central Member of Parliament Griffins Nangomba has commended the project, saying the newly constructed roads will help resolve drainage challenges in Kaonga and Namulonga townships while enhancing property value in the area. Meanwhile, ARZ site agent Johannes Kirkmer assured residents to expect more roads to be open to the public in the central business district, noting that the company is currently working on Nyerere Road, Shoprite Benoni Road, and Chachacha Road. The government has released an initial 100 million United States dollars to kickstart the Presidential Constituency Energy Initiative, a nationwide program aimed at accelerating the rollout of solar energy through the Constituency Development Fund. Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary for Technical Services Nicholas Piri says the financing package combines $40 million from CDF and $60 million from ZCCMIH. He says this forms the first phase of a planned $200 million investment designed to strengthen the country's energy security while boosting revenue for local authorities. Mr. Puri explains that the initiative follows a directive from President Hakainde Hichilema, who wants CDF to play a central role in expanding the use of renewable energy across all communities. He adds that the Ministry of Energy will lead the project through its implementing agencies. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, ZCCMIH, and the Ministry of Finance and National Planning will establish a special purpose vehicle to oversee the management of the program. The Lusaka City Council (LCC) has begun rolling out key parts of its integrated development plan for 2024 to 2030, a strategy aimed at modernizing infrastructure and improving service delivery in a city growing faster than expected. A representative from JICA's City Planning Directorate says Lusaka's population has reached 2.8 million and could rise to 4.8 million by 2045 if current trends continue. Officials warn the rapid growth makes long term planning urgent. LCC Director of City Planning, Mr. Chanda, says the new integrated development plan, together with the district development plan, is intended to strengthen planning and budgeting. He notes that past frameworks struggled due to limited funding and technical gaps. One of the first activities under the plan is to rehabilitation of drainage infrastructure in the capital and central business district to reduce flooding during the rainy season.
So in terms of technical challenges, yes, we cannot say we are good enough. First of all, we had outdated and incomplete spatial data and also limited decision making, which led to limited decision making because of accuracy and no other projections. Many more GIS integration and lack of centralized spatial database. We had shortage of qualified technical personnel, planners, engineers, M&Q officers to ensure that the plan was being, the implementation of the plan was being tracked and reviewed.
The Ministry of Tourism has clarified reports about the tragic drowning at Kafue River on November 23rd that the victims were not Department of National Parks and Wildlife officers, but staff of Greater Kafue Landscapes Limited. The three, Sunday Chabokola, 27, Teddy Chivuno, 41, and Freeze Kapasa, 38, had returned to their tents after a planning meeting when distress calls were heard from the river. They were not authorized to cross the river at that time, and the canoe they used was later recovered at the Kaingu sector office. Such efforts led to the recovery of Sunday Chabokola on November 24th. The Ministry of Tourism says unfortunately efforts to recover the remaining two have been complicated by a large crocodile at the site. Standard and Poor Global Ratings have upgraded Zambia's sovereign credit rating from selective default to CC triple C plus with a stable outlook, reflecting progress in debt restructuring and economic reforms. CSO Debt Alliance chairperson Father Daniel Mutale warned that triple C plus remains high risk, with Zambia still vulnerable to political, fiscal, and market shocks, particularly ahead of the 2026 elections. Father Mutale unresolved claims for Afrexim Bank rather, and TDB as preferred creditors pose legal and financial risks that could affect the remaining restructuring. He, however, noted that positive signs include a 17.8% rise in copper production, supportive copper prices, and growing investment in renewable energy and off-grid power solutions. Further, Mutale says foreign reserves have strengthened to 5.2 United States dollars through debt service will still consume nearly a quarter of government revenues. He says the upgrade is a vote of confidence in Zambia's direction, but emphasizes that continued fiscal discipline, energy reforms, and economic diversifications are critical to sustain progress. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Accountability Lab East and Southern Africa, LESA, has underscored the importance of citizens' rights to know which individuals or companies are awarded government contracts. Speaking during a media engagement meeting on beneficial ownership transparency (BOT), Alesa Research and Development Officer Tulani Mswelanto said public disclosure is essential because government projects are funded by taxpayers' money. Mr. Mswelanto noted that beneficial ownership transparency has become a global governance priority as countries intensify efforts to curb illicit financial flows, strengthen corporate access accountability, prevent corruption, and promote the responsible management of public resources.
We all have interacted with you. It's just a terminology that has been developed, but I think I'll try to explain it in very simple terms. Um, so the concept of beneficial ownership is around disclosure. It is a concept which mandates corporate bodies. Corporate bodies, they include that are beyond companies, like trusts.
At the same event, bloggers of Zambia Chief Executive Officer Richard Mulonga highlighted the indispensable role of the media in shaping public understanding, informing citizens, enhance accountability, and driving national dialogue on transparency reforms.
In the resources that the country is producing, the extractives, we see the fight going on around the mining, the fight going on around the Mukula, the fight going on around anything that you dig the underground, you put this some gold or something, you feel sorry, all these things going on. We have got broken roads everywhere around where does the money go? So it's a conversation. And for us to look at how can we use technology to ensure that there are spaces for citizen engagement on these issues. And we have seen, for example, issues around social media, like Facebook, Twitter, and others, that citizens are taking this conversation well.
Meanwhile, Zambia Council for Social Development ZCSD Executive Director Leah Mitaba stressed the need for media practitioners to understand the fundamentals of BOT and its relevance to Zambia's governance landscape. In Zambia, BOT remains an emerging but critical reform area with significant implications for public procurement, anti corruption efforts, financial integrity, and public trust in national systems.
From maybe Chilenge and Uganda, Kawata as well, and the media is that at the nexus, at the center of BOT issues, whether you know them or not, the impact of BOT actually has impact on the general populace. And I think one of the journalists mentioned to say that there is conduit of information. So because we cannot put every Zambian into this space, we thought that the media is strategic as a focus state.
Ends the business news, and in foreign news, Venezuela has banned 6 major international airlines from landing in the country after they failed to meet a 48-hour deadline to resume flights there. The airlines have temporarily suspended their routes into the capital, Caracas, after the U.S. warned of heightened military activity in the area. Angered by this, the Venezuelan government issued the carriers with an ultimatum that expired on Wednesday. While a number of smaller airlines continue to fly to Venezuela, thousands of passengers have been affected. The US has deployed a large force to waters of Venezuela, which it says is to combat drug trafficking, but which Venezuela's leader has denounced as an attempt to overthrow him. And in sports news, the Commonwealth Games Association of Zambia has congratulated Dr. Donald Rukera on his election as president of Commonwealth Sport, marking a historic moment as he becomes the first leader from the Africa region to take the prestigious role. CGA Zambia President Alfred Foloko praised Dr. Rukari's extensive experience, commitment, and vision for transforming the Commonwealth sport movement. Dr. Rukari's election comes at a strategic moment for the movement, with excitement building toward the Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games and preparations underway for the landmark Centenary Games in Ahmedabad in India 2030. And now the weather.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
The evening is partly cloudy, slightly windy and warm with a chance of isolated rain and occasional thunder. Ends our weather report, and that item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a recap of the stories that made